Hi guys, Spurs here, back with another video, and in today's video I'll be reading the club statement to you after today's North London derby was postponed after Arsenal bottled the North London derby purely because they have a day's less on us, and they sent players to the Africa Cup of Nations, and injuries and maybe ever so slightly COVID related. It's absolutely ridiculous they bottled it, but I'll give my opinion at the end like I did yesterday. But let's start with club statement. I hope you're all well and I hope you enjoyed today's video. Here we go. Club statement. We regret to announce that Sunday's North London derby against Arsenal has been postponed. This follows an application from Arsenal to the Premier League on a basis of a combination of COVID, existing and recent injuries and players on international duty at the African Cup of Nations, which was Arsenal's fault, Arsenal's choice. We are extremely surprised that this application has been approved. Yeah, absolutely same, agree. We ourselves were disqualified from the Europa Conference League after a significant number of COVID cases meant we needed to reschedule a fixture, and our application to move our Leicester fixture was not approved, only for it was subsequently postponed when Leicester applied. Exactly. The original intention of the guidance was to deal with player availability affected by COVID cases, resulting in depleted squads that, when taken together with injuries, would result in the club being unavailable to field a team. We do not believe it was an intent to deal with player availability unrelated to COVID. We may now be seeing the unintended consequences of this rule. It is important to have clarity and consistency on the application of the rule. Yet again, fans have seen their plans disrupted at unacceptably short notice. We shall once again sue food deliveries to the local food banks to avoid unacceptable waste. We're sincerely sorry for our fans, some of which who travel from great distances. Tickets will remain valid for the rearranged fixture. All affected supporters will be contacted via email with further detail. That is the club statement, and I would like to add to that by saying I think it's disgraceful that the game got postponed. Yes, Arsenal may not have had the numbers that what they say, 14 including goalkeeper, to field the team, but just to make it clear, it was their choice. Every club had a choice to send their players or not to the African Cup of Nations, and it's purely because of injuries. I believe they have barely any COVID cases. And look at Leeds United. They beat West Ham today, by the way, which is good. But they had lots of injuries, lots of problems. And I think they only have 14 players available at the moment. But yet they're still playing. They don't bottle it. Arsenal bottled it because they realised they had a day's less rest than us. They want to complete a transfer. Their choice. They sent players to the African Cup of Nations. Their choice completely. And injuries. And they might have one or two COVID cases. But it's ridiculous. They bottled the derby. And I'm surprised that their application is approved. And once again, the league table is more accurate and disruption to fans. Yeah, it was a day before today, but it's unacceptable to because North London derby has ruined it. We played at a later date when players of both teams don't want it. So the league table is so unfair at the moment. You've got some teams who played 18 games and some people played 22, 23 now. So the table is so unfair, and Arsenal are selfish and they're greedy. I do not believe it was because of COVID-19. I believe it's just because they got a shortage of players due to their choice with the African Cup of Nations and injuries. Once again, therefore, maybe even not looking after their players. But it's frustrating for us. But we go again. The fixture will be rearranged. Of course, it was unfair on us. Mentioned with the Conference League. I know it's so unfair. One rule for somebody else, one with another. I've spoke about this before. But I think players need to have a COVID vaccination. What's on screen now, that vaccine players need to have. Because Premier League, as I said, if you want to check out my the Premier League statement in my video yesterday, go and check it out. I uploaded it yesterday. But what I was saying is I think players need to have their coronavirus vaccination. I do not believe that the Premier League's priority is safety. Like they said, I think it's rubbish and utter rubbish. Disgraceful for them to even say that, because they did not stop clubs from sending players to the African Cup of Nations, and they are not forcing or encouraging players to have their vaccination. So that is not any kind of about safety whatsoever, because the fans, as I've said, as I done on Boxing Day against Palace, even though I'm anyone over 18, even though I'm under 18, still done it by the way, provide proof of a COVID vaccination status, fully vaccination status, or a negative COVID test within the last 48 hours prior to kickoff. And the fan safety is incredible, but the players haven't had their vaccination. And the answer is games not getting called off. And I heard pundits say today that Arsenal have done nothing wrong. They have done something wrong. Don't send players to the African Cup of Nations. Force your players to get vaccinated. Then you would be able to play the derby. Stop bottling it because you realise you lost because you're going to lose because you've got a day's less rest than us. Don't bottle it because they know North London's white. But players need to have the coronavirus vaccination. It's selfish. Fan safety is very good. If football ever stops, I blame the Premier League and players and also clubs as well. All clubs across England, to be honest with you. And Pep Guardiola and Jordan Henderson annoy me talking about players' welfare. Well, go and have your coronavirus vaccination and stop sending your players to the African Cup of Nations. Then come talk to me because you're wrong. Players' welfare. The Premier League, I'm annoyed with. Clubs, I'm annoyed with. Players should know better about the safety of them and their families and teammates, stuff like that. But also Premier League should know better and should have, force or encourage players to have their coronavirus vaccination. I think it's disgraceful. But yeah, if you want to know more about my opinion, go and check out yesterday's video. Thank you for watching this video. That was more of my opinion, adding to what I said yesterday. And basically, if you missed yesterday's video, more about it, and also the official club's statement about it. And I completely agree. I think it's shocking it got pulled off, but I've said it now. Nothing I can do about it. Thank you for watching this video. I do hope you enjoy. And as always, come on you Spurs.